Hey everyone, thanks for watching Commander's Brew here on YouTube. If you're liking these deck techs, do us a favor, run down there and hit subscribe just below this video. Or if you're loving things, go check us out at Patreon, patreon.com/commandersbrew. You can help make all the things we do here on YouTube, including this, including the CB vlog, also including Battle of the Brews, our new gameplay series that's out right now. Go check out some of those videos. But if you do all that, or you don't, whatever, we're going to get into the brand new deck tech for this week. Sean, we're dealing with Ilharg the Raze-Boar.
Oh, I can't wait, Andy. You've put together this deck. I love mono red. I love that Ilharg they're doing so much good work with mono red commanders of giving us like a little bit of extra room. Even like we're not doing feather this time around, but like maybe in the future, but like even they're just trying to give us more access as commander players. I can't help but feel like this is for us.
Yeah, of course it is. This is great. I mean, I love it. You know, I don't have a ton of mono color decks. I have two, but and oddly enough, they're white and red. Probably the ones you wouldn't want to play. But I love it when a monocolored commander comes around that's actually like, it's inspiring. It seems like, you know what, we can actually put together a good deck in this color. There's a lot of options, and Ilharg is definitely that. You know, being sneak attack on legs is pretty sweet, right? So for the people out there who haven't seen this card yet, I mean, take a look at it right now. It's on your screen. He's a god. He's a 6/6 with trample, which is very strong as a commander just for attacking purposes. When he does attack, we're going to be able to drop a creature down onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking, and then we can return that creature. We will return that creature to our hand at the beginning of the next end step. And also he has the new god text of, if it dies or is exiled, which is huge, we put it into our library third from the top. So basically Ilharg, the first time he gets cast, you know, it's up to you, but like might not ever hit the command zone again.
Yeah,
right, we might just keep him in our I think we do just keep him in our library for a lot of it, as long as someone can't force us to shuffle our library.
there is one notable, the only thing, I mean, I know there's a creature in red that makes people shuffle libraries, but no one runs it because why would you just care about that? Yeah. But there is that, I forget what it's called. It's the one from a recent set. It's in standard now, that lets you destroy a non-basic land, and each player searches for a basic and then shuffles their library. That is not a May. So that is one way that an opponent can make you shuffle your deck while Ilharg is in there. So like there is a minor risk, but you just don't do that if you see that card on the board. Exactly.
And there's a couple other things like that. I think those are pretty rare, like pretty corner cases. I don't think there's a lot of ways your opponents can make you shuffle your deck. So for the most part, we're going to leave. Yeah, you looked. Yeah. You looked for it. Hey?
I looked because I ran, like, one of my decks runs the Obnix list that makes your opponents take 10 damage when they shuffle their library. Yes, yeah. Or no, when they search their library. Searching and shuffling goes hand in hand. Mm-hmm. And there are very few abilities that make people search and shuffle.
Interesting. Okay, well, that being known and knowing about Ilharg's ability, let's start talking about some of these neat moves.
Working on a neat move.
Okay, so Ilharg lends itself to a lot of ETB abilities on our creatures and a lot of big creatures, because we want to, you know, for cheating mana costs, we might as well cheat the biggest mana costs, right? We might as well, you know, get the biggest ETB effects. So the thing that's going to really help us pop off of these ETB effects is if we get them twice, which is so strong. So we're going to run Panharmonicon. And Panharmonicon is just the base. So just picture it as like the base of everything we're going to be doing here. If you wanted, and if you had a Panharmonicon, you're going to be able to do all of this twice, right? Because it's going to be triggering off of ETB effects from creatures and artifacts. And like, you know, we'll talk about it in a sec, but there's also a mild artifact theme going on here. So a couple of creatures that are going to be, that have big mana costs and therefore big effects when they enter the battlefield. Or first one's Tyrant of Discord. This guy's going to come in, and target player chooses a permanent that they control at random and sacrifices it. And if a non-land card gets sacrificed this way, they do it again. So not even thinking of Panharmonicon, you might get multiple triggers of them sacrificing things from Tyrant of Discord. The fact that we can, drop this with Ilharg and replay it is really great. We also got...
The only tough part is figuring out how to randomize that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, there's dice involved, assign all of your lands and number, I suppose.
I need a 16-sided die.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you'll do, what, you should just draw things from a hat, draw numbers from a hat. There you go.
Yeah. You draw little proxies of all your cards on little slips of paper, put them all in a hat, and whichever one you draw is the one.
Or, if you have one of those ping pong ball machines, like bingo players have, like just just paint a couple of ping pong balls with a number, with the name of the card, and then just drop them in there and turn it on and draw. There you go.
That is the easiest solution.
And honestly, everyone has one of those things, so it's fine. Okay, so another great expensive ETB trigger creature is Spawn of Thraxes. It's a big dragon, comes in, it's a 5/5. Remember, these things come in attacking, so the fact that they're big is actually going to help them survive. They're going to be tougher to block, and especially Spawn of Thraxes because he gets to hit something for the number of mountains you control, whether it be another creature or a player. So he's going to be dealing a lot of damage, especially later in the game when we might just actually play this guy for 7 mana. Not so expensive, but can have a big effect is Flametongue Kavu, a real cube classic. He comes in and deals 4 damage every time. And then another big one is Hearthcage Giant. 8 mana for this 5/5 that when he comes into play, you get 2 3/1s, and then you can sacrifice those 3/1s at any point, and target giant gets +3/+1. So Hearthcage Giant can kind of protect himself a little bit. In that he can give himself like +2 toughness, or if you have any of the other leftover elementals from like a previous time you dropped him with Ilharg, you can pump him up. But those elementals stay. Like these aren't the kind that get exiled at the end of turn or sacked at the end of turn or something. So you just get those tokens as well, which is nice.
Yeah, and those tokens aren't tapped and attacking, so like no. they can be safe if you want them to.
Exactly.
Cool. And so you did mention a mild artifact theme, and whenever we're running red with that, of course, Duretti's Scrap Savant is going to be in there. Duretti's ability to rummage twice comes in really handy for red to help us smooth out draws because it's harder to do that. But also, because like I love the early move of Duretti of just like chucking your biggest mana rocks and then casting your little artifact dorks or little mana rocks and then just trading up later in the turn.
Yeah, we have those.
Duretti is great for that. Yeah, right, and like great. So like that's I'm sure we have some big like a Mere Battlesphere, for example. Those are fantastic moves to do that. So then Sky Scanner is your little like mana dork or your little artifact dork. It'll draw you a card, kill it with Duretti, trade it for a meteor golem that you had thrown away with Duretti earlier in the game. Now you're just destroying any non-land permanent. Maybe it's the one that has a chance of blocking Ilharg. Maybe it's the maybe it's the propaganda that's preventing you from attacking. Whatever. This is a great way to deal with that.
Yeah, and this is a guy you can also just drop with Ilharg. Same thing even with Sky Scanner. Like you can drop Sky Scanner with Ilharg, draw the card, and then pop it back up and cast it again, next turn, and then whatever. You can do stuff even with the little guys, but obviously you want to be cheating as much mana cost as possible. Again, part of the mild artifact theme was we got some equipment in the deck, both to protect Ilharg and to just like augment his abilities. So if we want to get some of that equipment, Godo is a great one to drop with Ilharg. Comes into play, search your library for an equipment card and put it onto the battlefield. So you just like... It's a kind of a way of like Ilharg now just drops equipment from your library onto the battlefield.
Oh, wow.
Which is awesome, right? So
yeah.
And the ability of the second ability isn't going to be super relevant, although I think we do have one samurai in the deck. I think
Do you have any equipment that gives vigilance?
No, I know vigilance is really good with Godo as well, but we don't have anything that gives vigilance. I think Fumiko is a samurai. Anyways, not relevant. But Godo is, but like just for that first ability, just that ETB ability is honestly very, very strong. So being able to tutor something straight from our library onto the battlefield is awesome. And some of the stuff you might want to get is like Helm of the Host, right? Why not? Skip that 4 mana cost and just skip right to the 5 equip cost for it. That'll be really solid. And obviously making multiple Ilhargs is going to be amazing. And then Whisper Silk Cloak is going to help us obviously just protect Ilharg as well as letting him get through so he can attack freely.
Yeah, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. And the beauty of red, I think one of your most this is my neatest move according to the way I like it, is you've put cards like Tormenting Voice and Faithless Looting, those kinds of things. Red is chock full of cards that let you like discard a card to draw 2. That's not card advantage, but when your commander has been tucked 3 below, drawing 2 plus your draw step for the turn means you get it back every turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like even if Ilharg dies, this is the same as commander tax, only it's not commander tax. You're also chucking a big artifact into the graveyard for a future recursion that way, or you're just getting rid of unnecessary lands for more big dudes to drop with Ilharg. I think this really leans into how red draws cards.
You could even include, now that I'm thinking about it, you could even include what's the guy? I love this card so much. He's holding his wife's head. Like he's building he's building the robot.
It's got a big beard.
Yeah, what's his name?
Starts with T, maybe.
I don't remember.
Nobody look it up. No one look it up,
but everyone just knows it. Oh man. Anyways, that's annoying. Okay, you look for it, and I'll talk about the next cards. Okay. You know what it does, right? He makes an artifact. He makes a copy of a token, or it's a copy of a creature in your artifact, and your blah. He makes a copy of a creature in your graveyard that is also an artifact. You have to discard it at the end, or you sack it at the end of turn.
I'm looking it up, but I hate that I have to.
It's really, So like just with these abilities, I think it's just really solid. You know, if you're discarding a lot of creatures in your graveyard, it's helpful. But that draw to trigger thing, that draw to thing from Tormenting Voice and Faithless Looting is also kind of represented in Infiltration Lens, which is a nice one to slap on Ilharg or any of the other creatures once Ilharg's in your library. Infiltration Lens, obviously, like it kind of reads like it's unblockable. Like people are not going to want to give you 2 cards to block unless it's your commander, in which case they might care about that. In which case we could probably throw a sacrifice outlet in this deck, sack Ilharg in response to this trigger, draw 2 cards, and then all of a sudden Ilharg's your next thing you're going to draw for the next
Felden
turn.
of the third path.
Felden, thank you. I was trying to think. I was like, he's got a cane. Something about a cane. Yeah. Felden of the third path is what you want. Might be also worth putting in the deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Read these 2, Shaw. This is maybe my favorite neat move.
Mirror March. Mirror March flips coins and makes copies of non-tokens that enter the battlefield. Flame Shadow Conjuring, you just pay a red and you get 1 copy. Both of those excel at the end step, and they all get haste. Although if we drop something in with Ilharg, we're already past our declare attacks phase, so we don't get to declare them as attackers. But remember, Panharmonicon plus ETB abilities, that doesn't matter. If Mirror March, if we luck out and get like 3 heads off of it, oh baby, that's like a triple. That's 6 times of whatever ETB effect. I think that is worth the risk of not getting it. And let's not forget, sometimes we will actually be hard casting these things where we will get to take advantage of this stuff, and we will get to take advantage of the haste. These are a very neat move as
Exactly. That's the thing. It's easy to think of like the Ilharg and how it works with him and dropping things, in and attacking. But you forget that, hey, wait, I'm just going to cast these creatures also. I am going to cast some creatures. So Mirror March and Flame Shadow Conjuring will get their attacks that way. This is a great one too. Another awesome like ETB related effect. Warstorm Surge is an awesome card. Obviously, whenever something enters the battlefield, we're hitting stuff for the power there. But also Sarkhan's Unsealing is a neat one. With Sarkhan's Unsealing, it's a very similar effect. It only cares about creatures with 4, 5, or 6, and then they can deal 4 damage. But they do have to be cast. So again, thinking back to like the fact that we will be casting some of these creatures eventually is very important. But I really wanted Sarkhan's Unsealing in here for the second side of it, the second part of it rather, which is like if you have a power 7 or greater cast, you're going to deal 4 damage to like everything your opponents own, including them, all their creatures, and their planeswalkers. So it's worth it because this deck has a lot of those 7 power or greater creatures, a lot of 4, 5s, and 6, so you're still going to be getting a lot of value off of Sarkhan's Unsealing.
So, and then one of the 7 powered creatures that we are happy to cast from our hand, but we're also happy to Ilharg it out, is Meogen of Infinite Rage, 7, red, red, red. That's 10 mana, so obviously Ilharg's great for it, but if we cast it from our hand, we get that divinity counter. And then if we dump that divinity counter, we get to destroy all the lands. Itali players, very familiar with red decks destroying all the lands, but that's because Ilharg still lets us cast things. And that is also not taken into account. We got a lot of artifact ramp, right? We may have half of our mana tied up in artifacts, so losing half our lands probably isn't that big a deal. Maybe we have ready to get even more artifacts back. I don't know. This card, it's probably going to be fine. And to those of you who are like, I don't run mass land destruction, this is, yeah, the rule of thumb is don't run mass land destruction unless you can close out the game. And if we're still coming at you with like 6 6s and 7 7s, the game will not last much longer.
Yeah, agreed. If you're the only person attacking with a 6 6 and a 7 4, like, yeah, you're probably going to win that game pretty quickly. No one else can do anything, but you're still dropping things and getting ETB effects. You got like a Warstorm Surge out there. That game's not lasting much longer. This is how you do it. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
And finally, Lathless Dragon Queen is a great addition to this deck as well. There's a lot of dragons. You know, big mana, red, mono red creatures. Most of them are dragons. So there's quite a few in the deck, and Lathless works really well because whenever you drop one, if she's out and you drop one with Ilharg, you're going to get that permanent 5/5 token red dragon. And then something Sean pointed out also is that you can actually drop Lathless with Ilharg. She stays there till end of turn, and then you can just play the dragon from your hand, right? And now it's the same effect, really. You can kind of go either way on it. So depending on what's going on with the board, you might want to pick one or the other that way. But either way, they're both quite strong. Lathless is awesome.
Lathless is awesome. Yeah, man. It's just $150 right now.
I know.
Probably pick one up. Yeah.
Very strong.
Anyway, any surprises and discovers?
Yeah, this is a bit of a discovery for me. Dolmen Gate, the 2-mana artifact that says prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to attacking creatures you control. This lets us attack freely. We don't have to worry about the guy we're dropping in there with Ilharg's ability. We don't have to worry about Ilharg. We're just going to be able to get in as much as we want and not worry about the consequences.
Fantastic, right? Like, yeah, great.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's solid, right? Budget report.
We must take all of the cards. We must drop them from our wallets for free and see which ones come back to our wallets at the end step.
Hopefully someone will return what we dropped out of our wallet. Restore your faith in humanity.
Or at least your driver's license.
Right.
At least return
Give me
my
back
cards.
my cards, please.
I don't care about the money.
So the budget of this one comes out to about $120. Ilharg, the price is not exactly totally settled yet, so we're not exactly sure where that's going to land. If it breaks through in standard a big way, it could go up. If it kind of flounders in standard, it could go down. So not counting Ilharg, which I think is about $15 right now. The 3 most expensive cards are Dolmen Gate at about $8, Cage Sun at about $7.50, and Treasure Map at just over $6. All strong cards for the deck. If you're looking to cut a little price from it, they are kind of expendable. Treasure Map's good because it helps us draw a little bit, and the Scry is helpful, but it's not essential. And Cage Sun is an awesome card, but there's lots of ways to get mana, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. These are all just sort of like win more cards in a sense. So yeah, like we could probably get this under $100 easily.
Yeah, well, none of them are like essential ETB things. Like I like if Panharmonicon somehow was in the top here, I'd say don't cut it because it's so good. But these things are just fine.
You got a favorite card in there?
I sure do. Urabrask the Hidden. Love giving my creatures haste and not having my opponent's creatures be able to block because they came into the battlefield tapped. Haste is so good with Ilharg. You want to be able to draw Ilharg off the top because he was in your library. You want to be able to play him and attack right away.
Yeah. And yeah. Like opponents coming in tapped is sort of like double haste anyway.
Yeah.
Like because they don't get to put up defense. I love it. My favorite card is also a haste enable, Hammer of Perforos. It's one of the cheaper ones, so we can get it down early so that the first time Ilharg shows up, we should be able to attack and get something going.
That's it. The haste enables are so important in this deck that we just love them this much.
this much.
That's it. There you go. That's the deck tech this week. Ilharg the Raze-Boar is real.
Andy, I like this deck a lot.
Me too. I kind of want to build it. But it's so funny because seeing Lathless at the end there, I was like, "Ooh, I remember I wanted to build Lathless last time too."
Who's it gonna be?
Who's it gonna be? But yeah, really fun deck. Sneak attack on legs. Turns out it's awesome. Sneak attack on a little piggy legs, running at you.
Legs.
They're very fun. It was a lot of fun. I suggest trying to build a deck like this. If you don't have a monocolor deck, try it out because there's some really strong ones out here, and I think this could be one of them.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what your favorite Ilharg sneak in is.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Like especially ones that are in red already, right?
Of course, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, check us out there. Check out Battle of the Brews right here on the channel. It's our gameplay series. I think you guys will really like it. Otherwise, we'll see everyone next week. Bye.
Big thanks to all our patrons who make these episodes possible.
Yeah, and if you want to check out more comedy videos, check out our Brews News playlist.
Make sure you follow us on Twitch TV to see when we play live.
If you want to chat with us, head over to Twitter. We're at Commanders Brew.
And please hit subscribe to ding the bell and find out when we got new stuff coming out.
See you next time.
Bye.